Rachel Boucher, Head of Content at Event Marketer, and I'm joined by Juanita Chavarro-Arias, our Managing Editor,
Hi.
and Kate Shea, our Senior Editor and Manager of Digital Content. Hey, Kate.
Hey.
Kate is our curator of The Brief, a weekly dispatch on LinkedIn and eventmarketer.com featuring experiential campaigns and marketing news that caught our attention. Yes, we're coming to you with another special edition of this monthly recap that we call The Brief Live. We've been traveling the country and talking online this month with marketers and partners as part of our Experiential Marketing Month celebration. Check out the link below for the happenings past and in the future. Our latest stop was New York City yesterday, but before we get into what we learned, let's talk our favorite industry stories of the week in brief. Kate, it's been a busy month, kind of hard to choose, right?
Very hard to choose. There is so much going on everywhere, but especially in New York. The one that I'm going to highlight is from New York. We actually, Rachel, you and I saw it very briefly when we were at Grand Central yesterday. But for those watching, so New York City's Grand Central is, it's this beautiful historic building, but it's also kind of just overrun with ads. So the creator of Humans of New York, if you're familiar with the platform, took over the venue and its subway station with this Dear New York campaign that has replaced every single ad in Grand Central with a piece of artwork that represents the people of New York. The creators calling the campaign, like a visual love letter to residents. So in addition to taking over 150 screens with all this artwork, here in New York also included these 50-foot projections featuring portraits of New Yorkers, which you and I saw, Rach. There are live performances by students from Juilliard, including these grand piano performances with a piano donated by Steinway, no big deal. And over in Vanderbilt Hall, which is part of Grand Central, there's this community art showcase. So there's emerging artists and 600 local public students also submitted art. So the entire thing is being called a powerful reminder of our shared humanity, which I love. I love that sentiment and I love the campaign.
Excellent. All right. And Juanita, you've got one that also came up in our Experiential Marketing Month LinkedIn Live on sports sponsorship on Monday. Can you brief us?
Yeah, so it was funny that it came up and then it was also in the brief, so it just shows how timely that this activation was. But DoorDash took over halftime at the LAFC and Atlanta United match at BMO Stadium earlier this month, and they've set up a celebrity dash cam stunt that featured LAFC legend Carlos Vela, who was seated in the stands, and from the Jumbotron, fans could see that he just kept ordering wild, unexpected items that were delivered to him, like jars of pickles, office supplies, a giant tortilla chip, and it was so funny seeing the video from this because the chip is huge and he just takes a tiny little bite in that giant tortilla chip. It was hilarious. But he also had spa supplies and even a full Italian dinner, and it was definitely that like say when moment with like the pepper grinder, and just so creative, so fun. I know it would certainly catch my attention if I were in the stadium and I was just sitting in my office watching it. So very cool.
Love that very much. And Juanita, on Monday, you hosted that panel discussion. Tell us who you sat down with and some of the key takeaways.
Yeah, so I spoke with Brooke Domberg of Cliff, Paul Iokim of Game Square, and Matt Herrick of BMO. And so since the DoorDash stunt took place at BMO Stadium in LA, it made sense that the panelists brought the activation up, and we just talked about how it all went down and basically going beyond what is expected during a game. And then we kind of tapped into the fact that it is BMO Stadium and, what goes into the naming rights of a stadium, how they make that decision, and how it can really just build brand awareness among sports fans and a new audience for BMO. And we also talked about authenticity in a sports sponsorship and showing up for spectators in a way that resonates and fits with the brand identity, not just showing up and handing something out, making sure that their name sticks with you, and using category exclusivity to break through all the other sponsor noise found at a game. They're kind of bombarding. So how can you break through or just kind of keep all of that clout to yourself? And then brand ambassadors. as key to social content and engaging fans on social, but you have to find the one who's willing to play ball and do some fun things for the gram. Otherwise, what was it all for?
I love that. Quite a powerful, a lot going on in the sports sponsorship world. So if you want to catch that full discussion on demand, you can see it right on our YouTube channel or in LinkedIn in our past events. So thanks, Juanita. All right. So Kate and I have taken about, probably less than 24 hours to digest our Trendwatch seminar in New York City. Shout out to the beautiful Spring Studios in Tribeca, where we had event marketers working together to discuss new research, talk shop, and dig into the next iteration of AI in this work. And Kate, I'll kick us off with just a few top takeaways for me. When having conversations around budget and ROI, instead ask the question, what is the loss if we're not doing it? Can we gain that mind share or market share back? So think about what the hole would be that you'd need to fill without that event strategy in there. And then going beyond cost per head and thinking in terms of gaining loyalty and what the value of connectivity is. Another interesting discussion we had, capitalizing on assets that can be dual purpose and benefit another piece of the organization, like in an advertisement or for content. I liked this one. Clients have their own internal clients too, about all the stakeholders in your ecosystem. And finally, this had to be my favorite. We're not planning events for business, we're planning events for people, and always keep that top of mind. Kate, how about you?
Yeah, that last one is my favorite. But I also took away, brands are strategizing for 26 with more collaboration between agencies and vendors as, event marketers are just kind of looking to check off more boxes. And one thing we heard from the audience yesterday is that it's really important to set ground rules when there are multiple agencies working on the same project, just so it's more efficient, everyone plays nice, and everyone kind of plays to their strengths. Another thing is thinking deeply about data strategy and making data collection as seamless as possible. And first-party data is top of mind right now for clients. Another one that we found is really interesting, creating and leveraging your brand heroes. So your most engaged audiences, your super fans, your OG brand fans, they're a really powerful asset. Final takeaway that I loved from our AI fireside chat is artificial intelligence alone is ordinary, but driven by humans, it's extraordinary. So I thought that was wonderful.
Yes. Love that too. That was a great ending thought for our day yesterday. All right. Well, thanks for tuning into the Brief Live, this special weekly edition as we celebrate Experiential Marketing Month. Be sure to subscribe to the Brief LinkedIn newsletter. Check out all of our weekly coverage on eventmarketer.com and check out all of our remaining experiences as part of the celebration this month. Thanks so much for tuning in.